What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. Today let's talk about one particular event which can with very high probability trigger a big, massive recession in the United States, something which can potentially even overshadow the greater financial crisis of 2007-2008. And this event I'm talking about is that if in case US American credit rating decreases by those credit agencies from AAA, whatever it has right now, this is something what can trigger a very big financial problems. Because right now, even despite its enormous US national debt and them continuing to pretty much increase the debt every single day, you remember we talked about it in my previous video, every single day $3 billion are added, well still, somehow, miraculously, America still retains the highest credit rating possible, which basically means that the probability of default in America is non-existent. This is obviously, this credit rating is obviously given by American credit agencies, but well, the situation speaks for itself. Because even judging by regular companies or especially fixed income securities, as soon as the credit rating drops even the slightest, this is exactly one of the biggest triggers for those fixed income security holders to start liquidating their positions, selling everything, locking in some profits, because they're no longer willing to take the risk. Because usually the market participants who are investing in fixed income securities, they have pretty low risk tolerance. And in the case of America, I'm almost positive if you are at least if you have at least a medium understanding in how economics and finance works, you can clearly see the problem with the US national debt. It is unstable, it is unreliable, it seemingly does not even look like that there is a solution to this problem. So, you are just waiting for this one event which can trigger panic, you start selling, you start getting rid of your fixed income securities, US treasuries, you don't even care which ones, 2, 10, 30-year-old treasuries, you just start to get rid of them, because the US credit rating is no longer the same. And as soon as it does happen, maybe even inevitably, this will without a doubt trigger a chain reaction. A lot of people will start selling their US government bonds, they will decrease in prices, there's not gonna be American debt holders, which will make it even more complicated for the US government to continue maintaining this huge level of debt. In this case, the whole situation can literally fall apart like a house of cards. And yes, I know that every recession is different, every recession begins unexpectedly, but sometimes there are things which are right in the open. Sometimes it is pretty clear that the problem lies ahead and only will take one event to start this chain reaction. For example, plenty of people, they knew that the greater financial crisis because of the mortgages will happen in 2007-2008, but they were not given much media attention. Yet, once again, the problem is right there. It is right now, after the fact, it became obvious that, how could we be so blind? It was right there, it was so obvious. How could a mortgage which is given to an unemployed person for a $2 million house can sustain itself? Eventually, one person stops paying for this mortgage, more people start paying for mortgages, houses start to be taken away from them, banks start to lose money, everything will collapse. Right now it is extremely obvious, and well, right now it is, in my personal opinion, the situation with the US national debt is exactly the same. In case things to start happen, in case things to start to fall apart, eventually, later, after the fact, a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, this was so obvious. How we could have missed it? This will be one of the main questions after potentially the next biggest financial crisis in America, which will most likely be related to the US national debt and impossibility to repay it, maybe even impossibility to continue making interest payments. And once again, the potential trigger, in my personal opinion, which can start all these things to happen, is the decrease in the US credit rating. As soon as these credit agencies see that America will have some problems maintaining its debt, inevitably, unless the situation changes, inevitably it will happen. Guys, as always, thanks so much for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel if this was interesting and informative for both, and see you tomorrow.